Viva Yacht, the glass-walled feed ship that makes quiet luxury. Look easy. The hook. I'm going to tease you with one detail that sounds small, almost petty, until you realize it's the kind of thing only true money even thinks about. On Viva, the luxury isn't just what you see, it's what you don't see. No obvious handles, no bulky hinges, no visual clutter. Doors slide open electrically and sit flush like the yacht is trying to erase itself into perfection. Hold on to that, because by the end, you'll understand why invisible hardware is actually the biggest flex on this yacht. Meet Viva, also known as DeFi. When people say Viva Yacht, they're usually talking about the 94-meter feed ship delivered in 2021, about 308 feet of Dutch precision. In some circles, she's also known as DeFi, but the vibe is the same either way. A pearl-white, glass-heavy superyacht that feels less like a floating palace and more like a modern beach house that learned how to cross oceans. Feedship has built icons for decades, but Viva stands out because she's not chasing shock value. She's chasing refinement. She's the kind of yacht that doesn't need to scream, because the proportions, the glass, and the finish do the talking. Overview. The yacht that's basically a modern resort. Viva sits right around 2,999 gross tons. If you're not deep in yacht culture, here's the translation. Gross tonnage is volume, the interior real estate you actually live in. It's why Viva feels airy and architectural instead of tight and maze-like. You're not walking through a boat. You're walking through a carefully designed building that happens to float. Construction is the classic big yacht formula. A steel hull for strength and stability, and an aluminum superstructure to keep the top lighter and more efficient. She's built on a displacement platform, which means she's designed to move with confidence and comfort, not bounce around like a speed toy. The look: glass, clean lines, and zero noise. Viva's design language is minimal, but not boring. She's got a plumb bow, tidy decklines, and an elegant profile that stays low and composed for her size. The glass is the headline. Massive floor-to-ceiling panes that make the outside world feel like part of the interior. And here's my take, because I'm picky about this stuff. Some yachts use glass like a trend. Viva uses glass like architecture. The effect is calm. It's not, look at me. It's, look through me. Key specifications. The numbers that explain the personality. Viva is 94 meters long with a beam around 14 meters and a draft around 3.9 meters. That beam matters because it gives the yacht true shoulder width. Spaces feel wide, not squeezed. The volume sits around that 2,999 gross tons mark, which is why she can carry serious amenities without feeling stuffed. Speed is another reason Viva is quietly impressive. Her cruising speed is commonly listed around 12 knots, and top speed around 20 knots. For a 94-meter displacement yacht, that's a real number. It's not a, we'll get there eventually yacht. It's a, we'll get there smoothly and we won't be late yacht. Power comes from twin MTU diesel-electric machinery. And this is where Viva starts feeling modern in a way that actually matters. The eco-luxury side, hybrid, but make it actually useful. A lot of yachts throw the word hybrid around like it's a fashion label. Viva's hybrid setup is tied to a real mission, reducing environmental impact while keeping comfort high. She can run at about 12 knots on diesel-electric power, and then switch to traditional diesel mode for that 20-knot maximum. What that means on board is simple. Smoother, quieter operation, especially at the speeds people actually cruise. And when a yacht gets quieter, it feels more expensive. It's like the difference between a luxury car door that thuds perfectly versus one that sounds like an empty soda can. Your brain notices. Viva is also associated with systems like waste treatment and heat recovery, plus efficiency work on air conditioning. Because with that much structural glass, keeping the interior comfortable without wasting power becomes a serious engineering problem. That's the kind of behind-the-scenes thinking that separates pretty yacht from smart yacht. The tender trick. A 14-meter tender hidden inside the hull. Now we get to one of my favorite details, because it's the kind of engineering flex you can't fake. Viva's hull hides a 14-meter tender, huge for a yacht's sidekick, and it's installed behind massive hull doors. Those doors have been described as the longest ever fitted on a feed ship at the time. Translation: they didn't just add a tender garage. They built a whole system to make the yacht feel clean and uncluttered while still carrying serious capability. This is the difference between luxury that looks good and luxury that operates well. Your decks stay calm. Your crew stays organized. Your guests never have to watch the messy parts of the show. Life on board, beach house energy with mega yacht resources. Viva's interior is designed by Marino, and it's described as open beach house style. That phrase is perfect because it tells you what the owner wanted. Not a museum, not a palace, not a dark wood library vibe. They wanted light, ease, and comfort, like you're barefoot even when you're technically dressed. In the guest experience world, Viva is often described with a pool, a movie theater, a beauty salon, a gym, and a beach club, plus an elevator to keep movement between decks effortless. Underwater lighting is also mentioned in listings, which sounds like a small detail until you're anchored at night and the ocean around you turns into your personal light show. Some reports also point to multiple pools on board, up to 3, because at this level, it's not about having a pool. It's about having options, one for sun, one for calm, one for the let's turn this into a vibe moment. And yes, there's a helipad. Not because every owner lands helicopters every day, but because at this level, flexibility is luxury. It's the yacht saying, we don't do traffic. The money talk. What this lifestyle costs in real life. Viva has been publicly described around the $175 million level, and she's been talked about with annual running costs in excess of $17.5 million. I want you to sit with that for a second. That means even when the yacht is doing nothing, just existing, there's a budget rolling every month for crew, maintenance, insurance, dockage, programs, supplies, and the kind of technical upkeep that keeps a modern hybrid system running perfectly. Superyachts don't just cost money. They require management. And if you're wondering about charter, Viva/DeFi is widely described as not being publicly offered for private charter in the usual way. But if a yacht like this did come to market for charter, you'd be looking at a 7-figure weekly reality once you add expenses, because this is a 94-meter award-winning feed ship with major volume and serious staffing needs. Why Viva matters. This is the new luxury. Here's the bigger point, and this is where I'll add my honest opinion. Viva didn't just impress owners and spotters, she cleaned up at major design awards, which is basically the yacht world's way of saying, yeah, this one's different. And awards don't happen because something is big. They happen because it's coherent. Viva represents the shift from loud luxury to engineered luxury. It's not trying to impress you with chaos, it's impressing you with control. The hybrid system is about comfort as much as it's about sustainability. The glass is about feeling connected to the sea. The hidden tender system is about keeping the guest experience clean. The minimal exterior doors and flush surfaces are about one thing: visual peace. That's why Viva feels expensive even in silence. The yacht is constantly telling your brain, nothing is accidental. The reveal. The invisible hardware flex. All right, time to pay off the hint from the beginning. On Viva, one of the most obsessive luxury choices is the decision to remove visual distractions. Electric sliding doors, flush fittings, minimal visible connection points. It sounds small until you realize how hard that is on a moving structure at sea. It's not just design, it's engineering discipline. And the result is a yacht that feels calmer than it should. That's the real flex. Not a gold statue, not a louder pool party. A yacht that looks like it was edited by perfectionists. Your turn now. I want to hear from you. If you had the choice, would you rather own a yacht like Viva, minimal, glassy, quietly advanced? Or would you go for a louder statement, yacht that turns heads with bold shapes and wild features? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me what matters most. The design, the comfort, or the eco-engineering. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like so YouTube knows you want more super yacht breakdowns, subscribe for weekly luxury lifestyle investigations, and tap join if you want members-only extras. And if you want to support the next episode directly, Super Thanks is the easiest way to keep these high-effort videos coming.